He was in one of the cities. Behold, there was a man covered with leprosy. When he saw Jesus, he fell on his face and implored him, saying, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. And he, Jesus, stretched out his hand and touched him. Now, this is a violation of the Levitical law. You don't touch lepers and you don't let lepers touch you. But in the new covenant, lepers are not excluded, they're included. They don't just are the untouched ones, but they are the touched ones. In the new covenant, people with HIV/AIDS can be touched. And people who are called to do ministry don't have to worry about catching something. You say, well, how in the world can you do that and not get something? And what's the answer? None of your business. So Jesus says, I am willing, be cleansed, and immediately the leprosy left him. And he ordered him to tell no one, but go and show yourself to the priest, make an offering for your cleansing, just as Moses commanded, as a testimony to them. But the news about him was spreading even farther, and large crowds, everybody say large crowds. Large crowds were gathering to hear him and to be healed of their sicknesses. Now, how many times in the scripture would Jesus heal somebody and would say to them, don't tell anybody? And then the next day, there'd be a crowd of people around his house. Look at somebody and say, somebody told. Now look, you can't be a leper and covered with leprosy, and one day you leave town covered with leprosy, and the next day you come back with a three-piece suit on, a white shirt and a red tie. And people say, what happened to you? How did that all change? And if you're going to obey God, you have to say, none of your business. You know what? And here's what I found. I have found that when you tell people, I can't tell you, that is probably the most critical way of getting them to find out. And I can just see people walking around this guy and just simply saying to him, you got to tell us, you got to tell us. I got a son who's sick, and you got to tell me how you got rid of your leprosy in a day. Because I saw you the day before yesterday and you were a mess. We couldn't even get close to you, but today you don't have leprosy and you got a three-piece suit on and a white shirt and a red tie. And you look like something has happened to you. What happened to you? Have you ever been badgered so much until you just said, I gotta tell. Jesus, please forgive me. We used to sing a song years ago in our church. I don't know if you ever heard it. I don't know if you've ever heard it. But it went something like this. I just can't keep it to myself. I gotta run and tell somebody else, because the fire keeps burning in my soul. When I try to keep it in, tears of joy begin. I just can't keep it to myself alone. Got it? I just can't keep it to myself. I got to run and tell somebody else, because the fire keeps burning in my soul. When I try to keep it in, tears of joy come from within. Just can't keep it to myself alone. Can you keep it to yourself? Come on. I just can't keep it to myself. Got to run somebody else, 'cause the fire keeps burning in my soul. We're not trying to keep it in. The joy comes within. I just can't keep it to myself alone. You see, if God messes with you, and he will do that. If he messes with your leprosy and you don't have it anymore, there comes a moment when you say, Jesus, I just couldn't help it. I had to tell somebody.